In my younger years, I was taught one sales method, and little did I know that that would become the biggest sales mistake that I've made. Hi everyone, my name is Kian. I run a company focusing on corporate training, on business consulting, and employee engagement. We have worked with more than 10 multinational companies and more than 2,500 employees across 15 different countries. In my younger years, I was taught that the process of sales was such that you would begin with the small talk where you would exchange courtesies with the client. You would then share a little bit about the company background, the people you've worked with, and the offerings that you have. And I learned later on that that was one of the biggest sales mistakes that I've made in my entire career. And the reason for that is because that method of pitching, well, I should preface by saying that I'm not suggesting at all that this method of pitching is not effective. In fact, for some clients who prefer a systematic and methodical way of pitching is preferred. Maybe some clients just want to tick the boxes. They want to know the business so that they could pitch to their bosses. And that's totally fine. That way of pitching or that format or structure is totally fine and totally clear. However, something that I eventually learned is that although the process of doing sales is quote unquote doing business, at the end of the day, you're speaking with individuals, which means that your prospect or your client has their own individual feelings, their preferred communication styles, and their personalities. What that also means is that we should be versatile and we should alter and modify the way that we speak based on the communication styles and personalities of our clients. Some clients, for example, prefer to chat a little bit more. Maybe the client is more extroverted. They prefer to share about their personal lives, their interests, their hobbies, their dislikes, the scenarios and company drama that they have faced recently. In that case, we should make it happen. In fact, we should treat these opportunities to get to know the clients better. Which means that the way that you pitch would no longer be small talk, company background, offerings, clients, and so forth. You're just going to chat with the client for a lot of the time. And maybe in the last 10-15 minutes, you would then talk about the offerings and how you could potentially collaborate. Some clients, on the other hand, prefer to look at something more visual. They want to see the clients that you have worked with. They want to potentially look at videos and photos that you have, brochures, and so forth. In which case, again, the method would not be small talk, company offerings, and so forth. You would show them the videos, strike up a conversation, and then talk about offerings and so forth. So the message that I want to convey is that when you're doing sales, even though it may seem like you are dealing in business, it's important to remember that you're still speaking with human beings. You're speaking with individuals who are emotional. They have their preferred way of communicating. So there is no one fixed way of doing sales. Going by the method of small talks, company offerings, clients, and so forth, company background, is just one of the millions of ways that you can do sales. In fact, there is no one way that's optimal, I feel. The optimal way would be very meta. It would be being versatile and modifying the way that you speak and communicate based on the characteristics, personality of your clients and your prospects. And that, I feel, has helped me a lot in being more effective in building relationships with clients and inducing liking and converting deals. I hope that you have learned something from this video. If you have, please like the video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.